Hi everyone, welcome to Wednesday's English lesson. I'm just going to share my screen with you and show you the full version of Mr. Griffiths' shared write before we start today, just so you can get an idea of how long this is. I did say to you at the beginning of the week that sagas can sometimes be quite long. So if your writing is turning into a little bit longer than you've expected it to, or longer than you're used to, don't worry. There you go, you can see that. So this is included in your pack today, so you can refer to it at any point and use it to help you with your writing. Okay, let me stop sharing that and I'll just go back to showing you today's PowerPoint. Right, no, that's not the right screen. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So today you are writing your conclusion. You need to think, so you're basically going to be referring back to your writing, to your plan, to your introduction, to your middle section, and pulling it all together. So conclusion brings everything together, it ties everything up, and there shouldn't be any loose ends at the end of your saga. So you shouldn't have a main character who had an important part in your saga. You shouldn't have your reader thinking, oh gosh, what happened to that character? Did they disappear? It should be the conclusion should be the section where everything ties up nicely. It's the perfect place to address any unanswered questions. So you need to think about how your writing is going to end. Will it end on a cliffhanger, leaving your reader thinking and wondering, or will you bring the story to an end where good defeats evil, or the other way around? So pause the video here and think about how you would like your saga to end. You can refer back to your plan and see if your writing is still following that plan. So is your planned ending still going to work? If not, how could you change it? And then read through your writing so far, make sure it's clear and concise, and then think about how your next scene will begin. So pause the video here and refer back to your plan and think about how you're going to start writing your conclusion today. Right, now to help you, what you could do is you could look at the conclusion in Thor and his mighty hammer and notice how it pulls everything together. So I've highlighted some things in bold here so that you can see how all of these things were important running through the main body of the saga and how they are all addressed in this final conclusion. And this conclusion isn't particularly long, it's just a paragraph. So it doesn't have to be lots and lots of writing, but it does need to address all of those issues. So in here, you've got Thrym, you've got the hammer, you've got the travelers, you've got Thrym realizing he'd been tricked, and how Thor gets his hammer back and protects the land of gods once again. So good defeating evil. So pause the video and have a look at the conclusion of Thor and his mighty hammer. Okay, now you're going to do exactly the same with Mr. Griffiths' shared write. So have a look at that shared write, and again look at those main points that have been mentioned throughout the writing and see how they're addressed in this conclusion and what is expected for you to do in your writing as well. So pause the video here and have a look at what it is that Mr. Griffiths has done in his conclusion. Okay, now hopefully you noticed that at the end here, there's just a standalone sentence saying about years later. So reflecting on, talking about years later and how the situation might be. So it says, years later, after many an adventure on the high seas, Bjorn returned to Norway and became a just and powerful king. So you know what's going to happen in a few years' time. And it's time now for you to write your conclusion. So in a second, you're going to pause the video and get writing yourself. Now you can refer to the shared write and Thor and his mighty hammer for support and ideas. And like I said to you before, make sure that you don't leave anything unanswered. So pause the video here and go and write your conclusion. Now you've written everything, you're going to do your final piece of editing and improving. So you're going to look at your conclusion exactly like we have done for the previous days with the middle and the introduction, and see if there are any errors and if there is any corrections that you need to be making in your writing. So look at these examples again about Thor and his mighty hammer. Now this is one way, like I've said before, that you could be editing your work. Okay, that was the last slide there. So that's it for today. One more English lesson tomorrow, and then we get to see all of your writing. So I hope you've enjoyed the task so far, and I look forward to seeing you on the screen again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.